preserve your memory and favorite days. Come online to the newest craze, the digital scrapbook, the way you want it to look. With digital scrapbook kits, fun and full of wit, you log in today, you won't be able to quit. Come on over and you'll think it's the bomb. Nitwitcollection.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Time for Tea Cottage release. I wanted to take a minute to show you this video, as I know probably if you've seen it, our previews, sometimes they can get a little bit busy, a little bit hard to see, and I wanted to give you an exact look at absolutely everything that's included in our bundled Time for Tea Cottage collection. So this is our bundled collection that contains our FQB, our 2 paper pack, our solids paper pack, our alpha, as well as our Lil Bits extra elements pack. Again, for those of you who haven't watched one of these before, each of these 5 products, nothing is duplicated inside of them. They're all different items. They're coordinated patterns, colors, and so that everything blends very well together. But you're not buying duplicate items if you decide to buy this full collection. Now, let's get right to the collection here. We'll X out of this, and we'll head straight into the FQB. So, our FQB looks just like this. Here are some beautiful papers. Obviously, there's great patterns, great colors, pretty shabby chic, cottage chic kind of feel to it. And as always, we like to give you multiple colors. Everybody has a different take as to how they want to use it, what color palette they think they want to work in, and what their predominant color is. So if you see a pattern like this houndstooth, that's why you get a few different ones here in the FQB. We always want to make sure that you are getting the color or the pattern in each pattern that it was that you were looking for. So here's the floral back. Here's some of the main meat and potatoes of this kit, or maybe the tea and the sugar and the cream. But the flowers in here, you're going to see this as we come up to the elements. The flowers are just magnificent. The detail that Mary Fran puts into it, it actually takes her about a week to create a full kit. That's the drawing, that's the enhancing, that's everything to it. So you can tell when we get to these flowers here, you're going to see why. So 4 of those beautiful papers. Then we get into the plaids. Plaids are always great, aren't they? If you want to go to a little more casual feel, you want it to use it as a ancillary background, plaids are perfect. Same thing with the dots. Now again, here's a beautiful, beautiful main background paper in the quilted pattern. Again, that's where our FQB, when we call our kits an FQB, it comes from Fat Quarter Bundle, because Mary Fran is a big lover of fabric. So it just happened to marry together, because a lot of these papers, you'll be able to actually distinctly see the pattern, or sorry, the texture in the paper. Even though it's done digitally, if you look at the papers, you will see that texture in there, and that's where all the genesis of that all came from. Some stripes, and there's the teapots and the teacups and the saucers and everything else. This is another fun background. Here we are back into some stripes and ticking. And the words backgrounds. These are just great. If you're looking for a little bit more of that old world feel, you can use these. Maybe try tea staining them. You can maybe try ripping the edges a little, whether that's digital or in physical paper. It just really gives you that feel and that look that you're after. Again, in a few colors, so that way you can work in whatever color palette you choose. And here is another pattern with little flowers. You can see the curly cues and the little extra pattern that's made out of it. So it's made into that circular pattern for you. And we're into borders. Now we're into the elements phase. So the borders, these are created. Again, we create all of our items large, so that if you are a scrapbooker and you like to create in 12 by 12 pages, or maybe you want to make some wall art with it. Hint, hint, maybe there's an upcoming video from us about this. You can, if you want to make something, you always have the items large. The reason again for this is if you want to shrink it, which you probably will because it is quite large, when you shrink it down, you never lose the resolution or the actual sharpness of the image. If we created a small image and you wanted to make it larger, you're going to have problems where you're going to lose that resolution and it's just not going to look as good as it should. So this is the reason we create things large, and we encourage you to shrink them to the size that you want for your project. Another border in the quilt pattern, obviously a beautiful, beautiful addition where you could easily line the edges of your cards or your boxes or whatever project you're working on. Bows, always good to have bows, and buttons to go along with it. Great little accent items, aren't they? And here we are into the flowers. I don't know if it's really coming through on the screen right now, but you can kind of see, this is what I was talking about with the texture. You can see the texture that it almost looks like a piece of fabric. And that's kind of the point. That's one of our highlight and signature things that we do here at Knitwood Collections. More flowers for you in the different styles. Again, always in coordinating colors so that you can work easily with them no matter what palette you choose to work in. Here's the buttons as well to go with it, to complement them. A few different styles, a few different sizes. And here we are into the main elements. So as you can see, again, we've created in a couple of different styles, a couple of different colors so that you can work with them, right? Flowers, the nice large flowers, obviously something you're probably going to want to use. You have a lot of choice in this kit, which is awesome. It allows you to make so many different items. I know that some of you maybe just make one card and think, well, maybe that's good enough or whatever, but you could make an explosion box. You could decorate your stationery stuff at your desk. There's so many things you can do with the kit. So maybe don't stop at one. Maybe think of going to a different color palette and a different feel of it, and try making a few or 3 or 4 different things with them. We're into tags now. The tags are great because you can utilize these as just a simple additional element just to add a little interest in an area. But as you can see, we always include the centers in a bit of an opaqueness so that if you want to write on those, maybe it's somebody's name, maybe it's a date, whatever you want to put on that, you have the ability to write on those and have it come through for you. And here we are into a different style of a word tag so that you have a few options just creatively. And here's a mat. The mats are great because if you place this in behind something, you have this beautiful light pink and the light mint color. And imagine placing something in the center here, whether that be a photo, a main image, or a stamp pop possibly. These are just awesome items in order to start building from the back, coming forward, whatever project you're creating. Some leaves. Obviously, you're going to need some leaves to go with your flowers. These are none more photo mats, journal mats, whatever you want to use them for. Imagine this if you were creating like an explosion box or a mini album. How nice are these when they're already done for you? The flowers are clustered. They've got pretty little accoutrements on them. Now you can put in a photo. You can put in a journaling thing. You can have anything you want on this. You're only limited by your own imagination, but great elements to have. Another one with the pink pattern paper behind it, just to give you a little different feel and look. And we'll get my screen back here so it's flicking. There we go. More and different, again, word tags. Always looking for creative options, and that's what we're trying to give you in our kits, is to give you creative options so that you can create whatever it is that you want to create. We're not just solely made for digital scrapbooking or card making or a mini album. Think of them more as, just think of them as graphics. They are images that I can do anything I want with. Ribbons, obviously another good creative option when you're blending 2 papers together. Makes it nice to cover up the seam. Another option on bows for you. Some rickrack. So again, back to that fabric feel. And circle tags. Again, great tags for, maybe you want to use them like bottle cap tags. Maybe you want to use them to journal in. Maybe you want to use them to put a photo in. Have somebody's name, kind of like a charm. So many options with these. And back into now the main elements of the kit with the creamers, the tea bag. So one with tea, one without tea. The tea bag was kind of getting a little weak, so we have to pull it out for this one. And again, in the different colors for you. And there's the completed tea set. We try and build some elements for you as well in the FQB so that you can have a main element to work with, kind of have a starting point for yourself. And this happens to be the beautiful one in this kit. And we're back to the papers. So that's the FQB version. If you're looking, when we were looking at the entire kit, that was the FQB and the main version of the kit. Now we're going into our little bits. Our little bits are basically the point of a little bit is if you are short on time, maybe you're just not quite comfortable clustering everything together, you're not sure if you're going to get it right. That's what the little bits is. The little bits is an elements pack where a lot of the work of that sort of stuff is done for you, so you can just get to creating. As you can see, you have a great word phrase on this. The flowers are already clustered together with a heart behind it. It's already beautifully done. Tags, again, you can use these to either decorate as a main element or just as a small little additional element that would maybe be, 1.5 inches square, that kind of thing, where you want to just add some interest. And there are a few of these in here as well. Here is a great tag, already has the lines on for you to write in. Maybe it's a journal card. Maybe it's a recipe card. Maybe you write in a recipe for a friend of yours and you give this to them. How sweet is that? Or add a sentiment into your card and you paste this on the inside of your card or mini album or box or whatever. A perfect blend, me and you. How sweet are these, right? Let's have a tea party. Again, the full finished elements. Aren't these great? Like you can just get at it. We also have our word tags. We try and include the word tags for you, again, so that you can just easily move on. And hopefully, I'm sure sometimes we're kind of hitting the mark and sometimes we're not, but hopefully you're seeing that we're trying to give you phrases that are suited to the kit itself, so that maybe this is something you want to go. And it may also give you a little inspiration. You may see something like my dear friend like this tag and think, hey, that's it. That's what I want to do with this kit, is I want to go in that direction and make something for my friends. So hopefully those are useful for you as well. And then at the end here, we always have the blank ones. So when we miss the mark, now you still have your option. Or perhaps you wanted it in a different language, you wanted to put a date or a name or whatever on them. So that's our Little Bits Elements pack. Our Time for Tea Cottage 2 is our additional paper pack. Again, no duplicates. We have similar patterns and obviously in the color family, but you will not get a duplicate paper if you're looking at the FQB. None of these are duplicated in terms of the color and pattern combination. You will not be buying duplicates. So just to make that highlight to you in case you're not quite sure what it is that we're trying to get across. So there's that beautiful floral again in a nice rich pink. Like can you see that as a nice main focal point of your creation? And so this is the papers in our tube. There we are, back to the start again. Let's go into our solids to give you a quick peek at those. So the solids, they have a bit, again, we'll get into a little bit darker. There you go, and a little bit darker you can see them. It's just a nicely, lightly embossed, lined pattern in this paper. So it does still give it some interest. It's not just like a flat piece of cardstock, but the solids are always really handy. We all know how, they're great back papers and everything else, right? So there's our solids. And lastly is our alpha, which gives us all the letters, numbers, and some punctuation for you to be able to use to print or spell out whatever it is that's important to your project. Maybe it's just the number 9 because it's a 9th birthday. Maybe it was somebody's name. Maybe it is a date. Maybe it was just a feeling that you had because you're trying to highlight something to a friend or a family member or your mate, for just to conjure up that memory and that feeling for them. So obviously we all know our letters of the alphabet, so I'll just go slowly through these here. We're P, Q, R, S. Oh, there's R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And that's it. So this was our Time for Tea collection. I really appreciate you stopping by to watch this video, and I'm hoping that it gives you a little bit more insight as to what the whole kit entails and what you get in each piece of that kit. Again, remember, when you purchase the bundled collection, you get all 5 of these products in the bundled collection, and you save 20% off rather than buying them individually. So certainly a good buy for you if you are looking to do lots with this collection. Thanks for watching, and hope you'll join us again. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and feel free to share this video with others. Thank you. Bye-bye.